welcome to my channel. As you can see, I'm at my parents' house again and I have this beautiful new backdrop. I thought it was a little bit better than the bookshelf I usually have. But that's not why you're here. You're here because I have the new Celestial Pearls palette by Charlotte Tilbury. I picked this up yesterday at the Bijenkorf in Eindhoven, in case you're from the Netherlands. It's not available on their site yet, not as far as I've seen, or it must have been very recently added. But I did get my hands on it because they did have it in store. I believe the other pearl palette, the Cosmic Pearl, is still an online exclusive on Charlotte Tilbury only, but this one is now available, as is the large holiday palette. So I've had my eye on this ever since I saw Morgan Turner's review a couple of weeks ago, and the way she described the shades and the way they looked on her, it was just so mesmerizing. And I figured I'm even a little bit more fair than her, so on me it should work pretty well, I think. This is not a very inclusive palette. As you can see, it's pretty light. The deepest shade is this one, and on me that's a mid-tone brown. So I can deepen up a little bit with this one, but don't expect any depth from this palette. This palette is all about the shimmers and the tones. So there is actually a duochrome in this one, which is this shade over here. I'll swatch all of them. So we have this satin shade. I'll swatch them on my hand. This is a super creamy, beautiful peachy shade. And that's supposed to go all over your eye. Then we have this Baked Chalet duochrome. And this is very special because it goes from, you can see it like this, a little bit green gold to a peachy pink, and it has this beautiful sparkle. Then we have the pop shade, and this one is also really beautiful. It's difficult to see, but you have to see it in the good lighting. In store there were a lot of heavy lights, and it had this beautiful sparkle, but I think you can see it. And then there's the enhanced shade, I think, or the smoke. This is the smoke. So that's this one. As you can see, it is a little bit darker than the others, but not extremely so. All of these shades are a little bit shimmery and shiny. So I'll show you the palette once more with the swatches next to it. As you can see, as I move my hand, they do shimmer and sparkle and shift in a very delicate and sophisticated way. So I can't wait to put this palette on my eyes. I'm just going to do an eye look with this one and then give you my thoughts on it. I'm not going to do my whole face because I just did a full face of Charlotte Tilbury not that long ago. I'll link it down below. So if you're interested in other Charlotte Tilbury products, you can check out that video perhaps. So now let's go into the demo. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this retails for 55 euros or $56. So it is a little bit more expensive than the usual quad, which retails for 50 euros or $53. And I'm told by the lady in the store that that is because of this special shade that is in the palette. And also, if I didn't show it yet, it has this beautiful pearly packaging. It's mother of pearl, I think. So I think this is a lot more beautiful than their usual brownish packaging, which I also don't hate. But this is really special. So wanted to give those details, and now let's go into the look. So I zoomed you in a little bit. I am going to prime my eyes just to give this give my eyes a little bit of blank canvas so the shades can really pop. Because these are so light, you don't necessarily need a primer with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows. The first shade, this one, is supposed to go all over the lid and the crease to act as a primer. But I always use a primer anyway, mainly to blank out the darkness around my eyes. I'm using the Glam Light primer in the shade Classic Vanilla, the icing primer. And I hope that this palette doesn't give me a lot of fallout, because I actually like to start with my face makeup. I just never do, because I always have this line of fallout on my cheeks, and I hate that. So I always start with my eyes these days. But if this palette is as light as I think it is, maybe I can get away with a little bit of fallout on my face. Or maybe there isn't any. We shall see. Alright, I'm tapping out the primer just to be sure. And I think I'm going to do it the way Charlotte Tilbury recommends you doing it. And maybe I'll play around with it a little bit more in another video. So I'm first going into the prime shade with this slightly fluffy packing brush. Oh, there's a little plastic sheet on the mirror. So there is a mirror in these. So I'm going to put this all over my eyelids. Oh, this is already so pretty. And I'm just going to put it pretty high. I am leaving a little bit of space because for a prime shade, this is actually pretty deep. Oh my god, this is already so pretty. Look how it glistens in the light. And this is just the most unremarkable shade actually. So let me do two eyes at the same time. I really like the way Charlotte Tilbury shimmers sit high on the eye. So you can easily put them in the crease and above. Blend them out to the brow bone. And you have this beautiful one and done look. I'm also putting this underneath the lower lash line. And I don't think I'm getting a lot of fallout as of now. But we shall see how that goes. So that's the first shade applied. By the way, I don't think you need to use all 4 shades in this quad. I think 2 or 3 is actually more than enough, but for the sake of the video I want to try all of them. So now I'm taking a real flat shader brush, a more stiff one, because this baked gelée formula is probably going to be a little bit more difficult to pick up. And I am going to put this on the outer half of my eyelid. Also on the center. I changed my mind, I'm just going to put it all over the lid. And it does intensify it a little bit. I think I would usually not put the primer shade all over. I think it's prettier if you have a little bit of dimension. But this baked gelée shade is so shiny. It's so pretty. I'm not sure if you can see the duochrome though. Maybe I shouldn't have put something underneath. But I do like it a lot. I'm switching to a pencil brush and I'm going into the smoke shade, which is this brown over here. And I'm going to put that in the outer V. Also putting it a little bit in the crease. It does deepen it up just a little bit. Also putting it in the outer corner of the lower lash line. That's also beautiful. I think this would also be a pretty one and done shade. And I did get a little bit of fallout from that shade. I was very uncareful, as I usually am, because since I start with my eyes I can be uncareful. Careless! Uncareful. Don't mind me, I'm from the Netherlands. Yeah, I think this doesn't add as much depth as I was thinking. It's pretty similar to the first shade, but there is a slight difference. So you do get a little bit of dimension. I really like the way that first shade sits on the brow bone. It's really quite shimmery. So now for the the final step, I'm taking my finger and I'm going into the pop shade. And I do feel like this one will not get as easily hard panned as the other ones probably did. And I'm just going to pat this all over everything. And now I basically added 3 shades all over the lid. So yeah, if you can't distinguish them anymore, that's not your fault, that's my fault. It is a little bit difficult to figure out how this palette works. But I think you can see it. I think it's beautiful. I do feel like I need a bit of an inner corner highlight. So I'm taking a small little brush. I'm taking that pop shade. And I'm going to see if I can really concentrate this on the inner corner. Since the pop shade is the lightest shade in the palette, I feel like that should be possible. You could of course use your highlighter of the day. But I like it when I can use a palette for everything in one go. So I added a little highlight. And that's it for the look. I'll add some mascara and I'll add my face makeup and I'll show you the finished look and give you my final thoughts. I'm back. This is my finished look. As you can see, when you do your whole face with the foundation and everything, this eye really starts to sparkle. I'll twist and turn a little bit in the light. So I think next time I'm using this palette, I'll apply less on top of each other so you can more clearly see the different layers. Because I feel like, because I did the prime shade underneath, that the duochrome is just not as visible as I'd like it to be. But I'll add a little bit with my finger on top of everything. Yeah, that helps. So maybe the duochrome is a finger shade as well. I think that's prettier. I really like this quad. I was a little bit hesitant to buy this, or I got it as a present, but I was a little bit hesitant because sometimes things look really pretty in studio lighting, but not so much in real light. But I'm not using any artificial lighting at all right now, and I feel like my eyes are just so dimensional and sparkly, and I really like it. I also like the way I paired it. I used my Chanel Ombre blush from the fall collection, and I used the Huda cream lipstick in the shade Gold Digger, and I think that really ties everything together. So, oh, by the way, my highlight is and my contour are from the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette, but these are the same as the usual contour and highlight palette, the Duo palette. So I think that works all very pretty together. So yeah, I can 100% recommend this quad if you like a light look and maybe if you're not too dark skinned, I'm afraid. The other one, the Cosmic Pearl, is also pretty. It's not as sparkly as this one, but it is a lot deeper. So if you want something with this special packaging, but you think your skin tone is too dark to wear these kind of shades, then maybe you can try that one. But I must say, I think those lighter shades can also really pop on a darker skin tone. I'm just not sure if they're pigmented enough. I can't speak for that. I hope there are other people who have reviews on it. I think that's all I want to say about this palette. I really like it. I'm really happy with it. I'll play with it a lot more, and you can see in my monthly ranking how high this is going to rank, but I think it's going to be pretty high. So that was it for today's video. If you like this review, please consider subscribing. I'm Cecile, I'm 28 years old, I live in the Netherlands. I usually do this little rant at the beginning of the video, but I forgot. I upload 3 times a week with makeup related content, and I'm also on Instagram and TikTok if you'd like to follow me over there. So I will see you in the next video.